This week's episode of the Equestria Inquirer is brought to you by Villains in Vogue, the brand new fashion line by Rarity.
Surprise! Joe is still in China, so he can't do his normal hosting duties. That means that tonight, he's going to be hosting Mares in a Minute, and I'm going to host the show. Me, Tech Rat! Isn't this exciting? I think I have everything I need here. I have my blank pieces of paper. I have my random thing on the table. Heck, I have a table! Oh, this is going to be so cool. I have been dreaming about this moment since I was a little boy. Yes, intern, I know that this show did not exist when I was 8, okay? Don't you go using your fancy logic to muddle the issue. This just in. Unreliable sources have confirmed that Scootaloo has stolen Pinkie Pie's party cannon and is now using it as a form of rocket propulsion in an attempt to fly. She has been seen firing it at the ground, which has the effect of launching her into the sky, leaving behind a massive smoking crater filled with confetti and balloons. Though she has yet to remain airborne for more than a few moments at a time, this technique, which she is calling the cannon jump, has the side benefit of letting her reach sections of Ponyville that ponies were not intended to access. From there, she can snipe every pony with water balloons while they all futilely make complaints about her noob hats. Mare announced that if Scootaloo does not stop doing this, she is going to totally boot her from the server. In response, Scootaloo made a rude comment about the mare's mother, then ate a Hot Pocket. I'm Tech Rat, and this is the Equestria Inquirer! Good evening, Ponyville! Joy, sunshine, and happiness were nowhere to be found this week. Instead, fear, panic, and destruction reigned as another horrible disaster befell the innocent citizens of Ponyville. And this time, Rainbow Dash had nothing to do with it, which means Joe owes me 20 bucks. No, this time, the very earth itself began swallowing portions of the town. Ponies, animals, and buildings alike screamed in terror. Yes, even the buildings. As the ground collapsed beneath them, causing them to tumble into an inky black void of inkiness and blackness. It turns out that this was all caused by none other than the Diamond Dogs, who, while digging new tunnels in their search for gems, apparently made a wrong turn at Albuquerque and ended up underneath Ponyville instead. Unaware of this navigational error, the dogs burrowed into the town's very foundation, weakening the earth above and causing massive random sinkholes to appear. Our pony correspondent, Truthy Trutho True, was on the scene for about 5 seconds. Then he was 20 feet below the scene, under a pile of rubble. He had this to say. Oh, sweet Celestia, please help me. I think my legs are broken. It is so cold and dark down here, and I am so very, very scared. Oh, please help me. I do not want to die. I'm told that, while his breathing is raspy and irregular, he is amazingly still alive. We're all pulling for you, Truthy. Get rescued soon. Speaking of rescues, we have acquired a recording of one of the emergency calls that were made during the disaster. Here is an excerpt from that call.
911, what is your emergency?
A house fell on me!
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I was digging for gems, and then this house fell on top of me!
Sir, did you provoke the house in any way?
What? I don't think so.
Did you exchange insurance information with the house?
Huh? I don't have insurance.
Oh, that's too bad. These kinds of accidents can get very expensive.
Please help me! I can't move my legs!
Of course, sir. I just need to get some information first. Your name?
Spot!
And the address where you are located.
I don't know. I think I see a 3 on the house. It's hard to tell. It's dark down here.
Can you describe the house, then?
It looks like one of those houses where those filthy, ugly ponies live.
Are you saying that I too am ugly?
What? Oh no, not her! Of all the houses to fall on me, why did it have to be her?
Is there something wrong?
He called me ugly.
No, Miss Rarity! Please stop!
And it's true. Just look at me. I used to be beautiful, but now.
That wasn't very nice. You should apologize.
You never liked me.
Apologize? I'm in terrible agony here! You have to help me!
Calm down, sir. We've pinpointed your location. We're sending the paramedics. We should have your legs free in no time.
Forget about my legs! Bring me some earplugs!
Is it over? It's safe to take these out now? Okay, good. Sure glad I had those babies. It turns out that not everyone sees these new tunnels as an inconvenience. Changeling Queen Chrysalis, known to her friends as Swiss cheese legs, is actually pleased that Ponyville now has its own network of catacombs. Now when she invades the town next May, she no longer has to worry about where she will imprison Princess Cadance when she kidnaps her again. We're not sure what the point is of kidnapping Princess Cadance a second time, unless Chrysalis is really just a very uncreative villain. Maybe all of her evil plans are like that. Invade Appaloosa, kidnap Cadance. Invade Manhattan, kidnap Cadance. Go to the laundromat, kidnap Cadance. Wow, that's actually kind of a sad thought. I feel bad for her now. In any case, the Diamond Dogs were eventually scared away by that wacky comedy troupe, the Cutie Mark Crusaders, who all donned Rarity masks and chased the mongrels down the tunnels. I'm told that Rarity would have done this herself, except she was too busy laying on her drama couch and whining about her house. Geez, Rarity, your house only got swallowed up by the earth. It's nothing you have to make a big deal over. Gosh! Anyway, when they were last seen, the Diamond Dogs were burrowing new tunnels away from Ponyville, and troublingly towards the super-secret location where the portal to Humansville, Missouri is located. Let's hope they don't find that interesting artifact, because Celestia help us if they ever make their way to Earth. I can only imagine the outcome. Wow, I don't even want to think about it. On the other hand, it would make watching football 20% cooler, but not nearly as cool as hosting this show! Oh man, I am having so much fun right now. This has got to be the best day ever! It's too bad that when Joe comes back from China, I'm going to get booted back to Mares in a minute. Wait a second. But if Joe can never come back from China, then I'll get to host the show forever! Intern, go to our sponsor! I have evil scheming to do!
Since the beginning of time, dastardly ne'er-do-wells have longed for evil fashions that truly expressed the twisted essence of their stinky, rotten souls. Impatiently waiting decades, no, centuries, no, eons, whole eons for the perfect, nefarious outfit. Today, at long last, psychotic megalomaniacs, your wait is over. Presenting the breathtaking new fashion line, Villains in Vogue, by Ponyville's own Rarity. Truly, the only choice for the dapper miscreant. Now, you can plan devilish schemes in style, torture do-gooders in glamour, and cackle crazily with class. Select from a wide variety of capes, top hats, and twirlable mustaches. There's an ensemble for any occasion, so you will never have to worry about not making an elegant entrance when you take all of Canterlot hostage with that doomsday device. So come down to Rarity's boutique today and explore the Villains in Vogue line for yourself. And remember, if you laugh maniacally, Rarity will give you a 10% discount.
Hello, is this the Chinese Ministry of Health? I'd like to alert you to a very serious issue. There is currently a man named Joe Stevens walking within your borders. This man is a carrier of an extremely contagious version of a disease called Mad Mare's disease. This disease, if contracted, causes almost immediate death, followed by rapid zombification. I recommend that Joe Stevens be quarantined permanently, as there is no cure. Yes, you're welcome. I am happy to be of help. And now, remotely from China, here is Joe with this week's Mares in a Minute. Good luck, Joe.
Thanks, Tech Rat. Reporting live from China via a secret retired Soviet satellite hacked by a terrified astroplatograph and a pair of pliers, I'm Joe Stevens, and this is Mayors in a Minute. I'm here in Hong Kong. As you can see, I'll just show you a brief bit here of the city itself. As you can see, we're not on the bay side, which is an unfortunate circumstance because I would have preferred to show you the Hong Kong harbor and everything, but we didn't get a good enough hotel room, I guess. We're currently embedded with Princess Celestia's media team covering the peace talks between China and Equestria. And let me just go ahead and get the curtains closed up so that I don't get some bad lighting and everything and shit. Bloody curtains. Alright, now we can finally begin the episode. I'm with Princess Celestia's media team covering the peace talks between China and Equestria. As stated in last week's episode, China has become increasingly alarmed about Equestria's weapon of mass destruction, namely Rainbow Dash. Princess Celestia is here along with Rainbow Dash and the rest of Main Team 6 in order to discuss the de-weaponization of Rainbow Dash and seek a peace treaty between the two imaginary nations. But all was for naught. The situation here in China is dire. Riots in the streets, death and chaos, muffins made with jellyfish. The planned summit in Beijing to discuss the peace treaty began as a simple meeting of leaders to avert nuclear war. But now the entire nation of China is on the verge of complete collapse. The cause? Unadulterated exposure to happiness. After experiencing a mere few hours with the love and tolerance of ponies, Chinese citizens are overcome with a sense of joy they've never felt before, and their sensitive happiness constitutions simply cannot handle it. It seems that after decades of exposure to communism, Maoist-era state planning, and those silk shirts with the buttons that are impossible to attach, the Chinese people lack all capacity for happiness. Thus, they were completely unprepared to encounter Fluttershy trying in vain to use chopsticks. That image alone has brought China to its knees with joy. The pandemonium started when Chinese officials brought Princess Celestia's delegation on a tour of the Forbidden City and Tiananmen Square. Pinkie Pie, upon viewing the thousands of sad faces of people who'd been forced at least once to wear those annoying button shirts, began singing "Smile, Smile, Smile" to cheer up those in the square. Unbeknownst to Pinkie Pie, it is illegal in China to hold an impromptu parade and musical number celebrating the simple joy of laughter in Tiananmen Square. It is especially illegal when tens of thousands of Chinese citizens break into a singing riot of heart attack-inducing joy. In an effort to cease the wave of happiness that was engulfing the city, the Chinese military began recklessly gunning down the smiling rioters. These efforts were in vain, however, as the soldiers themselves succumbed to the irreversible joy in the crowd simply because Applejack attempted to stop the rioters by shouting, and I have a quote here in my papers that I've been dropping. Applejack quoted to the rioters, "Just calm down, y'all." Rarity's assistance with comforting the wounded only seemed to exacerbate the issue. Finally, Twilight attempted to shield the rioters in order to contain the spread of their pony viewing happiness. Unfortunately, witnessing a magic shield put in place by a purple unicorn caused the entirety of Beijing to cry out in panic-ridden bliss and joy that had never before been experienced. And of course, Rainbow Dash, whose potential for war was the whole reason the summit was decided to take this moment to create a sonic rainboom over the Great Wall of China. Because, she quotes, "Things couldn't get worse. Plus, that would be really cool. The rainbow-laden explosion could be seen from space and by near the entirety of the population of China, who had never before witnessed a rainbow-emitting Pegasus pony, exposing them to a sense of happiness and putting over 1 billion people at risk of looking at the world with hope and joy for the first time. And it will probably kill them. Casualties are incalculable. Communications are completely cut off. And no pony knows how Scootaloo gained access to China's nuclear arsenal, but Chinese leaders would really like it back. Will China completely collapse under the weight of this happiness? Will communist leaders regain control over the singing population? We'll find out in a report next week when I return to Equestria. Or if I return to Equestria. I'm Joe Stevens, and this has been Mayors in a Minute. From Hong Kong. Back to you, TechRat.
So we just take this screenshot from his segment, and we shop a gun in his hand like this. Then we add some racist subtitles for flavor. And now we email it to the Chinese president from Joe's hacked Gmail account. Excellent! Close only counts in 3 things: horseshoes, hand grenades, and government work. Our new correspondent has 2 of those things covered. We wanted all 3 covered, but since we couldn't find anybody willing to do the government work, we had to settle for Lttmoose. And here he is now with his brand new segment, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Hey, that sounds like a pretty fun game for Joe to play.
Hello citizens, I am Lttmoose, and this is Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, where we come close to the facts. First, let me start off by saying thank you to the crew of EQI for welcoming me onto the production. Transition from regular everyday person to endangered marmoset has been an awkward one, but the people here have been super nice about it. The tracking bracelet can chafe at times, but now Charlie Sheen and I have something new to talk about, other than the time we fought a bear together. Conversations with him tend to get stale. And also the emergency mating protocols have been... But first, get out your berets and start trotting to the ticket booth because the newest avant-garde theatrical release has come to Ponyville. Every pony who is any pony is stampeding to the new production of Puppetry of the Ponies, a joint production between Photo Finish and Apple Bloom, starring Granny Smith Apple. In it, an unconscious Granny Smith is attached to strings and manipulated by Apple Bloom to appear as if she is moving across the stage. Providing a mimicked voice, Apple Bloom then causes her catatonic grandmother to interact in madcap situations with various guest stars such as David Hyde Pierce, Nathan Main, and Sir Ian Fetlocken. Reactions to the show have been generally positive. "It's the most shocking thing I've ever seen," stated theater critic Brig T. Hawdy. "A terrific and terrifying commentary on the bleakness of modern living, whilst the helplessness of free will is meditated upon. Plus she looks really funny when they put the googly eyes on her." Other audience members had similar praise. "It's hilarious," said Jerry Silverhorse. "I saw it over the weekend with my friend Bernie. He didn't say much, but I'm sure he'd enjoyed it. Didn't you, Bernie?" Mr. Silverhorse then tilted the head of his companion forward and backwards in what we assume to have been an affirmative gesture. But the show is not without its critics. As expected, youngsters are now entirely terrified of this show. "I can't watch it anymore," stated the young colt through a veil of tears. "Ever since they strung up Granny Smith, I've been having nightmares, I have. And whenever I see my granny sleeping, I think she's gonna fly across the room and gobble me up." Local sociologist Census Taker had this to say. "It's known as the Uncanny Valley, not to be confused with the low-lying area surrounding the ever-free forest. No, this phenomenon occurs when ponies witness something that comes close, but not quite to, resembling another pony. Highly stylized portraits and statues are, of course, easily distinguished as inanimate objects. However, giving apparent motion to what should be a napping senior citizen causes spectators to detect the inherent wrongness of the motion. It lacks the spark of life and free will that we associate with voluntary movement, and the mind registers it as something akin to an animated corpse. We tried contacting local foal sitter Fluttershy to get an accurate representation of the youth's opinion. However, she could not be reached for comment as she was busy barricading her home against what she perceived to be the coming zombie pony apocalypse. Star of the show, Granny Smith, likewise could not be reached for comment as her busy schedule of 3 shows a day requires her to be unconscious for long stretches of time. We did, however, manage to contact Photo Finish, who said, "Oh, even her snoring is graceful. All I have to do is put her on strings and I capture the magics." Oddly enough, Photo Finish began production as a traditional puppet show for foals and yearlings. However, smart writing and beautiful character design attracted a periphery demographic of 4 to 10-year-olds, particularly amongst stallions. Seeing as how this older audience, colloquially known as pronies, or puppet sisters, was constituting the majority of her product sales, Photo Finish began to cater directly to them, writing raunchier stories and turning one-off gags such as Apple Bloom's well-intentioned abuse of the elderly into the main focus of the program. The success of the show has already spawned imitators. Lyra Heartstrings has begun production on an experimental theatrical production containing what she calls hand puppets, which she promises will delight and confuse generations of ponies to come. We here at H&H wish her all the best.
Multiple camera angles? Really? Oh sure, you just gotta go and show us all up with your professional cutaways, don't you? Well, I'm not gonna stand for that on my show, mister. Next week, you better be back down to a single camera. And don't be as funny either. You're making the rest of us look bad. This just in. Scootaloo has finally been lured down from her unreachable perch and Pinky's party cannon has been recovered. Mare was able to coax her down by promising that she would help her find her real parents. Of course, this was a lie. And the moment Scootaloo landed, she was wrestled to the ground by police and carted off to jail. Oh, Scooty, you're so gullible. Anyway, now that Pinky has retrieved her weapon of mass decoration, she has been using it to help fill the tunnels left behind by the Diamond Dogs. Of course, balloons and confetti don't make for the strongest of foundations, so Mare has had to introduce some new regulations in Ponyville. Starting immediately, all buildings must be constructed of nothing but tissue paper and balsa wood. And the maximum weight allowed for any pony is 5 pounds. So drop that cupcake, pick up a carrot, and get to the gym. Because we're not all going to sit here and watch Ponyville get swallowed by the earth again because you can't lay off the frosting, fatty. Now, if you'll excuse me, I do believe that Joe Stevens has to make a call and call in a bomb threat to the Chinese Parliament. I'm Techrat, and this has been the Equestria Inquirer. Good night and good buck. Oh, my hat!
I, Joe Stevens, will be bucking the hay out of President Hu Jintao of China. I, Joe Stevens, will kill the Chinese people. I'm crazy.